Welcome to my world, where you will experience an atmosphere of love, relevant subjects, and motivation. So let's talk about things that matter. What matters to you matters to me. Hello everyone, this is Henry Harris, and I am the host of the Brother Henry and You Show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope that this episode helps you in so many ways. And it's a question that I've often asked myself on numerous occasions. Why do relationships die? We're going to dive into part 4, and I want you to take this journey along with me as we are talking about a series called The Untold Truth about relationships. Have you ever thought why relationships die? What causes a relationship to come to an end? Many of us know that that's a very sad situation. Just like many other things in life, sometimes relationships work and sometimes relationships don't work. This is a true reality that all of us must face. Now, I get it. You go into a relationship with someone, your goal is to what? To make it work. Maybe you marry someone. Your goal is to do what? Is to make it work. But there's another side to this too, where you have to look at it and say, this may not work. And that doesn't mean that you're negative. It just means this is how life works. Even if you got a job. Oh, this ain't what I thought it would be. So what happens? You leave. My point is this. There are many things in life that works for us. And sometimes there are things in life that do not work for us. And that's okay. What didn't work just didn't work. What ended just ended. And it's just like that. We've all heard that in order to make any relationship work, will require both parties to simply do their part and to do their share, and not necessarily just one person doing everything, but both parties coming together to do whatever it takes to make a relationship work. And I know from experience that this can also be a challenge, and also it can be a lot of work. One thing I've discovered from past experiences is that no matter how hard you try, no matter how much effort you may put into it, no matter how much work you may put into it, sometimes, just sometimes, it may not work. I've always used the illustration of magnets. Have you ever played with magnets before? I have. And let's say you take two magnets and you put it on one side and they connect perfectly. But try to take those two magnets and put it on the opposite side. There's going to be some strong resistance. And no matter how much you try to put them together, they just won't work. That's just like life. That's just like relationships. You'll meet those people in your life where you click, you connect perfectly, and you may meet those people in your life that may be the opposite side of that magnet, where no matter how hard you try, there's some strong resistance. Something deep down on the inside of you is telling you to let go, but you don't want to. Have you ever considered this today? What if your relationship ended before it ended? What if your marriage ended before it ended? No, I'm not talking about when you told him, I want a divorce, or when you told her, I want a divorce, or when you told your girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever it is, I'm done. What if it was done before you said, I'm done? What if your marriage was over before you told him or her it's over? In some cases it is. I was there. But we only say it's over or it's done or the relationship has come to an end because we have finally come to the terms that it's really over, when in reality it was over a long time ago. It just took you a while to catch up to reality and understand that. While I am all for healthy relationships, and those who know me personally knows I am, in some cases, depending on the circumstances, I will boldly say that some relationships do really need to die. They do. I'm for healthy relationships, but I am not for unhealthy relationships. If you are in an abusive situation, a controlling situation, a toxic environment, a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage, yes, I will say those relationships need to die. You need to disassociate yourself from those type of relationships and connect with yourself first. And then, if it's meant to be, develop a new relationship in the near future. I've had some people tell me that having unsuccessful relationships have been a blessing to them rather than a curse, depending on the circumstances. We go into a relationship with the mindset of making it work. We try to do all the right things. We try to say the right things. We have the right motives. But in all your effort, you still see a decline in the relationship. You literally see the relationship going downhill. What do I do? How do I respond to that? I think some relationships that maybe many of us have established should have never been established to begin with. I have been in failed marriages and relationships myself, and if anything, it really does teach you a lesson. There will be all kinds of emotions that are being involved when dealing with a failed relationship, but always keep in mind that just because you had a failed relationship doesn't make you a failure. Yes, let your emotions run their course. There's going to be sadness, there's going to be heartbreak, there's going to be pain. You may even find yourself questioning yourself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? Can I encourage you today to snap out of that mode? That a brighter day is ahead of you. And just because it didn't work, that doesn't define not only who you are, that doesn't even define your future marriage, your future relationship with someone else, or connection you may have with someone else. Today's the day to realize that sometimes relationships die. Just like us as human beings, we live on this earth, and there's going to come a time where we all will die. It's just reality. I think about that myself. I don't like it. I'm not looking forward to meeting my day. But I know that one of these days I'm going to have to get out of here. It's just like with relationships. Some relationships die. Some of them stay alive. But in order for a relationship to stay alive, we'll require both parts to do their part. We should also consider that just because a relationship died, that doesn't define your future relationships. And never try to rekindle something that was never meant to be in the first place. Many of us have done it. We run back to our ex thinking like, oh, things are going to change. Now, I'm not saying that things won't change. I mean, let's be a little optimistic here. But at the same time, too, ask yourself, why are they your ex to begin with? Why didn't it work to begin with? I firmly believe people come into our lives for a reason. And that doesn't always mean that you need to marry them or develop a relationship with them. There's only two things you need to know. Living in a world where things are evolving and growing. If you want your relationship to grow, there are two things you need to know: evolving and growing. It's just like a plant. When you put a plant into the ground or put the seeds into the ground, there is an expectation that develops. But it's going to require you to water it, at times fertilize it, and nurture it, and do all the things that you have to do for that plant to come out beautifully. Isn't that just like relationships today? That we need to water it, fertilize it, nurture it, do everything that we can do to make it work. Because if we don't, it just simply dies. The truth is, relationships don't have to die. They don't. If you're in a relationship today, they don't have to die. If it does, sometimes it's by our choice, and sometimes it's not by our choice. Sometimes it just don't work. Any relationship survival would depend on what you're willing to invest into it. What are you investing? And in what ways are you making it grow? Sometimes relationships die because we stop doing the things that we first did before. This means that your attention went from us now to you. And if you want your relationship to die, I dare you to try that. It will end very, very fast. There are a few reasons why relationships die. I will give you a few. Number one, trust issues. Number two, cheating. Number three, compatibility. Number four, jealousy. Number five, communication issues. Number six, grown apart. Simply means they've just lost interest in each other. Number seven, unrealistic expectations. Number eight, betrayal. Number nine, lack of intimacy. Number 10, selfishness. No one wants their relationship to end. But if there's no effort in making it work, it will die. Please understand today that love comes with no conditions or stipulations or codes. Love radiates. It will only die if you allow it. And realistically, keep in mind that some relationships need to die. And through that, we can create something much more meaningful and beautiful down the road.
Hi, if you like what you're seeing today, be sure to connect with Brother Henry at www.facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You Show. And also be sure to check out and subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/Henry Harris 100. We hope that this has been a blessing to you, and we hope to hear from you soon. Keep watching, because what matters to you matters to Brother Henry.